Published, 17:37 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 17th of March 2018. Updated, 21:17 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 17th of March 2018. Manchester United's players thought their manager had been unnecessarily frank on Friday when he dismissed their performances in recent years. They clearly weren't aware that it was just the first installment. On Saturday, they were treated to a sequel, shortly after qualifying for the FA Cup semi-final, because Jose Mourinho was excoriating in his analysis. Luke Shaw was a player you imagined was already heading for the exit here, and that much was confirmed after the full-time whistle. Nemanja Matic directs Ashley Young's cross past Tim Krul late on to double Manchester United's lead on Saturday evening. The United squad celebrate as Matic extends the lead and sends them into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Romelu Lukaku heads United into a first-half lead after Nemanja Matic found the striker in space at the back post. The 24-year-old striker handed the Red Devils the lead against Brighton in their FA Cup quarter-final at Old Trafford. The United fans applaud their Belgian striker as Mourinho's men got the better of the Seagulls on a snowy Saturday evening. Others weren't named, but Juan Mata and Anthony Martial will rest uneasier after Mourinho accused some of lacking the personality to play for United, highlighting his forward players. Some, he said, were scared to play. He even claimed he felt they would rather be substituted than take responsibility. "Please, mister, take me from the pitch. I felt that," said Mourinho. "To be on the pitch and touch the ball every 5 minutes, anyone can do it. To be on the pitch and say, 'Give me the ball because I want to play,' that's a little more difficult. I cannot say much more. It is a relation with personality, to trust, to class. When the sun is shining and everything goes well, you win matches, you score goals, everything goes in your direction. Every player is a good player and wants to play and wants the ball and looks amazing and is confident. When it is dark and cold, and in football that means a period of bad results or a bad result like we had a few days ago, not everybody has the confidence and personality to play." Lewis Dunk escapes McTominay at a corner to allow himself a free header at goal, only for Sergio Romero to match his effort. Juan Mata was unable to finish off a sublime passing move after putting his effort just wide of the Brighton goal. Anthony Martial drives at Gross and the Brighton defence to try and force a second goal in their FA Cup quarter-final tie. Mourinho's gripe was that he had set up the team to play aggressively, had ordered his full-backs to play high up the pitch, and then expected creative movement from his strikers. None of the above happened, but Shaw, withdrawn at half-time, seemed more culpable than most. "We worked on a certain kind of movements and it was really important. The full-backs were aggressive and always in front to create space for Nemanja Matic," explained Mourinho. "I didn't have that with Luka, with Antonio Valencia. I didn't change both at half-time because it was too aggressive. I decided Luke, because Antonio was at least capable defensively. Every time they went in Luke's corridor, the cross was coming in. There is a risk, of course, which Mourinho conceded, of antagonizing his players. He is currently not in the mood to care. My calculation is that without pressure, they don't perform well. What can I lose? It seems that after 20 months at the club, a time of reckoning is coming." McTominay is bullied off the ball by Brighton's Dutch striker Jurgen Locadia on Saturday evening at Old Trafford. Chris Smalling came closest to scoring in the first half as his close-range effort was superbly saved by Krul in net. Exempted from criticism were Matic, an island of personality, and Scott McTominay, who, despite having his worst game, demonstrated he was a true Manchester United player by maintaining his work rate and position. "He has the personality to wear the red shirt. He was not afraid to play." Presumably Romelu Lukaku, with an excellent goal, was spared too, as well as Eric Bailly and Sergio Romero. Lost in all of this is the fact that United carry on to Wembley. Mourinho is a man who has measured out his life in football trophies. Little else usually matters. But the passivity of performances seems now to irk Mourinho. In truth, no one seemed ready to embrace this quarter-final. The smattering of empty seats at Old Trafford indicated that the option of home comforts on an Arctic night were seemingly more desirable than watching United. Romelu Lukaku jostles for the ball with Pascal Gross and Lewis Dunk as United dominate possession in the first half. United's young midfielder Scott McTominay holds off Leonardo Ulloa during their FA Cup clash at Old Trafford. Brighton showed unswerving commitment in the ranks of their fans, a full allocation taken despite the inhospitable conditions, inconsiderate scheduling and 520-mile round trip. Yet 5 changes to the team and no Glenn Murray until the 76th minute were an ode to Premier League realities. The swirling snow had the same effect on United as it does on the UK transport system. They ground to a half. There was precious little to note early on until, on 29 minutes, an exciting interplay between Mata and Marshall resulted in Brighton scrambling the ball away for a corner. In the melee that followed the corner, Chris Smalling hit the post. Brighton stirred, Lewis Dunk losing McTominay to power a header goalwards, requiring Romero to save. United finally stirred on 37 minutes. Eventually it was Shaw, on one of his few ventures forward, who cut the ball back to Matic. The curling cross was beautifully measured, and Lukaku's movement and strength, to lose Dunk and to ensure it was the simplest of chances to head in, were also superb. It was his 25th goal of the season. Mourinho, centre-left, and Houghton, right, watched their sides battle it out at a snowy Old Trafford on Saturday evening. Brighton goalkeeper Krul has a nervy moment in front of goal as he spills a cross early on in the first half. Blizzards wreaked havoc at the beginning of the game as the two sides walked out to play their FA Cup quarter-final tie. Brighton rallied somewhat in the second half. Pascal Gross tested United on 52 minutes with a shot that was only just wide. And 5 minutes later Jurgen Locadia struck from 20 yards out, forcing another fine save from Romero. On 67 minutes, Locadia again went close when Solly March's cross found him unmarked at the far post. From the narrowest of angles, he could only direct his header into the side netting. It served as a warning. The tie was at least being contested. But United seemed content to contain, with little attacking intent. Just as the game looked as though it might be winding its way to a conclusion that at least would maintain a degree of tension, United quashed the thought on 84 minutes. Ashley Young swung in a fine free kick and Matic, man of the match, timed his run perfectly and directed his header firmly past Tim Krul. Wembley beckons for a semi-final. And you can be sure that Mourinho, once he has finished with his players, will add that to his progress report.